Hello, everyone. So as per the usual, I'm a little bit late with an update. I've My senior year of college is upon me. Well, actually, my super senior year of college is upon me. So my last year. So I've been very busy with school and haven't had too much time for other things. But oh well. To those of you who are new to my channel or to my story or to my life, welcome. Thank you for showing an interest in what I have to say. Um, for those of you who we know each other, welcome back. Uh, this past month or so has been really interesting. I've come out in a very public way. The first was I did a presentation with one of my professors from school, and it was for an organization called SAMHSA, and it's a national organization aimed at substance abuse and mental health. And my professor helps head the West like the territory for the West. She's part of that. And so it was with her and with another organization at school for the Center for Applied Substance Abuse Technologies. So we went and did a presentation to different state officials, and it was mostly all people who were involved in some way with mental health and substance abuse. And there's an addendum that SAMHSA is working on aimed at the LGBTIQ community. So she asked me to join in. She had seen me present before. So we went and did that, and there were 19 people at the presentation, and I went through and did basic terminology and concepts, and um, my professor did a lot of data and statistics because she's done a whole bunch of research within the community, and then I came back in and gave some basic tips for providers. So I've done this presentation before, and we had a lot of fun. And then um, we did a panel discussion. So it was me and two of my friends, and we basically just sat and they got to ask us questions for about 30 minutes. And it was so much fun. And watching people as I was presenting, watching kind of their minds work and their thought processes, and just internalizing and conceptualizing what I was saying was really fun to watch. And most of the people there were older, so they're, later 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And like I said, most were somehow involved with mental health or substance abuse counseling. There was the Douglas County, sorry. There was the sheriff from my hometown was there. And so it was a really wide array of people. And so the presentation went really well. They asked a ton of questions as we were going through. So we had a lot of good dialogue that was going on. And then we sat down to the panel, and every time I come out as being a transgender male, people's eyes just kind of explode out their head. They just can't believe what I'm saying, and I love that reaction. So that was just so much fun, and the feedback that we got on most of the feedback forms was that this was needed elsewhere within the state, because almost all of state of Nevada is rural, aside from Reno and Las Vegas, basically. So there's this component of rural health that has to be addressed, and that's kind of what we were aiming at. So most of the feedback was that we should do this presentation elsewhere, and I really appreciated that. So it was kind of the catalyst for doing another very public coming out, in that I contacted my hometown newspaper and contacted one of the journalists, who is a family friend. I've known her my entire life, and contact her and told her that I would really like if she would interview me and write an article about my transition. And that's kind of a big thing to do in the place where I'm from, because it's definitely a small town, ultra conservative, rural community. So kind of scary. And what was really cool is that I talked to my parents beforehand, and I'd asked them if they would be a part of the interview, and my sister as well. So back in August, at the very end of August, the journalist came over to our house, and we all just sat down, and she just basically took down my story. And it wasn't that I was trying to, get too in depth with what transgender is. It was just a basic sharing of my story and of what my life is. And I told her as long as it was focused on the positive, I was happy. And she did a remarkable job. and the feedback that we got was amazing. I got a whole lot of messages. It just came out. The article actually just came out this last Sunday, so I'm still a little bit overwhelmed with all the responses that I've gotten, but overwhelmingly positive, which is amazing for my community. I've always had faith in the people that live there, and I've never had an issue before, but it's just always scary when you're coming out publicly. But I got just a ton of great feedback. I got one message that was not, I wouldn't even classify it as being negative. She was just angry at the context, I guess, of which something was said in the article. And, you know, I understand what she was saying, and I internalized it, and she had her valid points. It's not going to stop me from telling my story at all, but learn from that and move on. But otherwise, just connecting with a bunch of people in the community was amazing. I got some great emails, people sharing their stories, and then I just heard from people that I haven't heard from in years. So that was just amazing. And it was just an opportunity to share with people about how basically I struggled and then how I've come out on top. So it was definitely very cool. And I'm so thankful to have been able to do that. And a lot of it, the article was aimed at just basically educating people, I guess, through my story. And that's kind of what it did. I don't really want people to be forced to understand what it means to be transgender and everything like that you can't understand. So as long as people accept, even when they don't understand, that's really all I care about. They don't have to understand what I've done through, but just accept the fact that I've struggled and I've come out on top, and that's all that matters. And then the other predominant feedback that I've gotten on the article is how amazing my parents are. And I agree 100% with that statement, because everyone just said what amazing examples of love that my parents are. And, obviously I've experienced that firsthand. And obviously I'm tearing up right now even just thinking about it. But the fact that they had the courage to essentially support me publicly, that's something that I'll forever be thankful for. And then my sister's comments were some of the most touching that you can imagine. I wish I could post the article, but it's already been locked on the website for subscribers, but oh well. So that was great. And then just one of probably the most meaningful feedbacks that I got was from our priest. And for those of you who have watched my videos previously, you know that I'm Catholic and that I have remained Catholic through my transition. And our priest of our parish emailed my parents and, congratulated us on a good article, but he also said that, he would be willing to, he supports us both privately and publicly. And coming from a Catholic priest, that was huge. So a lot of this has just been amazing and scary, very scary at the same time, coming out publicly, but just everything, realizing just how powerful a story is and how powerful an experience is, is just, it inspires me to keep telling my story, if that makes sense. People's feedback, even though they were saying that my story was inspiring, people's feedback on saying that and saying how they have changed or their eyes have been opened or something, that's inspiring to me. So it's just kind of an awesome cycle that's happening right now. And I'm looking at other venues of coming out even more, I guess. Not that I'm hide too much of anything, but yeah, so I'm looking at that. I actually got contacted based on the article by someone at my university who's in charge of they want to do an empowerment conference. I guess conference isn't the best word, but something with empowerment at the university, and they asked if I'd be on the committee and possibly talk. So I'm really excited about that. And then future goal is to meet Ellen DeGeneres. That's like the future goal. That's what I'm working towards. But anyways, I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you again to the new people in my life. I appreciate you, And I am so glad that we have an opportunity to interact authentically, even if there's a screen between us. So hope everyone is well, and I will talk with you later. Bye.